Okay, let's just get the live stream set up as well. This is going to be a bit more complicated. I know. Yarn. I need to be excited about this one because it's the item that confuses everybody. Absolutely everybody, including myself. I'm going to explain the concept first on the whiteboard before I move on to how the code actually works. And I'm going to show there are two different ways we can do this, just to be even more annoying. You'll have all seen AJAX in action, you just won't know what it is. And it's a technology that, like I was saying to Mitch a moment ago, like other technologies, when I first saw it in action, I thought it was absolute magic. So we have to go back to my childhood. Right, where are we going back to? Back in 2001, I was working on a really interesting project for work on skin conditions for a dermatologist doctor. He wanted a database of skin conditions and STDs that were searchable with photos. So you go into schools and things and say, hey guys, this is why you shouldn't have sex. Pretty much. It was probably one of the worst but most fascinating databases I've ever worked on.
Was this separate from the images?
No, the images are there. Yeah, believe me, you wouldn't want to see this database ever. However, what was really interesting is the fact that he was wanting it to be moved from a Windows-based application to a web-based application. All well and good. However, his Windows-based application had a search bar and a button, and as you started typing, the results came up in a box. So as you were typing, it automatically found the results as they were going along. So you didn't actually have to click the search button, you just then found the right item you wanted. It had to be that way because this is actually designed for doctors to be used in medical environments. They want to do it as quickly as possible. That's all well and good. They wanted this in the web application, and the first thing I thought was, that's impossible. Can't do it. There's no way of being able to just automatically change something on the screen unless you're using JavaScript, which would have the entire database stored on the actual page of the website itself, which in itself would be a bit of a nightmare. So, let's fast forward about 2 or 3 weeks. While I'm working on this project, I'm on Google. And as I'm sat on Google, suddenly the most amazing thing happens, which to you guys won't be amazing in the slightest because you see it all the time. I started typing something. No, not up there. I want to actually be on Google's website, I suppose, because otherwise it won't actually do it. I started typing, and the words came up in a box exactly as I wanted it to work in this application. And it was like, how does this work? So immediately I started talking to developers that were working on every project in my department and said, right, we need to do this. How does this work? And we couldn't work out how it worked. It was an industry secret. Google was the only company doing this, and yet it wasn't the Google technology that had been invented. It was actually invented by Microsoft. And Microsoft never actually used it, or didn't use it, until Google had already used it for their search results. Suddenly, it became the best way of working out how to do something to get results instantly that has constant post back to the server. And everyone in the industry was scrambling to find out how Google was doing it. And if you try to look at their source code on their page, you just got this random gibberish, as you've seen before, I'm sure, of JavaScript, etc. And as I said, we never actually solved it. We were just too small as a company. We had to wait for other more clever and intelligent companies to come up with a solution. And where they found it was to go to the patent office and find a patent for getting back information without posting back to the server. And that's how we found out it was actually run by Microsoft. The guy actually wanted it for what became Bing search. It wasn't called Bing at that point. I can't remember what the search engine was called at the time. The MSN search engine. And Microsoft thought there was no use in putting it in their system. but they did build it into their browser, put it in as W3C specification, which obviously everyone else then can use, and then it became, as I say, de facto standard as we use it. So how does it work? Well, it's called AJAX. Does anyone know what AJAX stands for?
The villain in Deadpool.
The villain in Deadpool.
Adjustable.
Basically, it's JavaScript and XML. And it's a way of sending information using JavaScript asynchronously to the server, and what you get back is a load of XML. The most pure XML that we want to use is a form of HTML, also known as XHTML, because what we're going to do is making manipulations on the actual web page itself, and there's a special version of HTML which uses XML modifications to make it work. Now, as it happens, you can send anything you like back using this AJAX system. You don't have to send XML. That was the original patent specification. If you want, you can send data as a string. You can send data in what's called JSON format, which is JSON. You know what JSON is? I forget to remember. JavaScript object notation, I think it stands for, but it's pronounced JSON in the way, as these things often are. But it works in a really, really simple inverted commas way. Yeah, Tom's tried it. That's why he's laughing. And none of you will be laughing either for a few minutes' time. Here is my
Me
client.
and Jane are going to need to use this.
Yeah, you probably will. I'm going to draw the server as a database, even though it's not actually a database, it's a picture. What happens is it sends a signal, sends a message to the server as if it's posting through a page. That page then sends it back into the response from the JavaScript function. So it sends back a page of data the same way as if you've refreshed on your address bar. But then it's up to the page that you've got to then determine where to stick that in the page. You can put it in a div tag, you can manipulate it in any way you like. So to the server, it's been sent a request for a page in the same way as a normal request was sent on the address bar. But to the browser, it's the one doing all the difficult manipulation type stuff. Now there are some really problematic caveats with this as well. Hopefully this will work as an example. I don't know if it will or not. Let's take the YouTube front page. YouTube.com. I click on it once, I get that. Okay? I'm now going to go to that YouTube page again. Is it the same or different? It's different. If you look, all the items are different. Yeah? If I go to the YouTube page again, it should be different to the other ones. Some of them are the same, but overall there are differences. Yeah, everyone okay with that? That is because, clever as it may seem, there is no caching of data. When you send a request to YouTube, it's always going to the YouTube server and getting the latest version of the page and coming back. Because that page says, hey, don't cache anything, please, browser, because I constantly refresh like a news page does. If you went to my website doesn't have that code at the top, and if you then went back to it again, even if you didn't have an internet connection, chances are that page would load up because it's been saved in the local cache on your computer. Your computer says, well, this was the last version I had. I doubt it's been updated because it doesn't say it's constantly updated, so therefore I'll give you that page. Is that concept okay for everybody so far? Yes. You have local caches and all the different data that you store. It's why quite often, if you're building a website and things are going wrong, as Alistair's found, you actually have to hit Control F5 to refresh everything. Otherwise, things like the JavaScript pages might not automatically refresh. CSS pages won't automatically refresh because it's stored a copy and it assumes those pages aren't going to change very often as a browser. The problem is, when we move on to AJAX, an AJAX request is automatically always cached. That means if you're trying to do an AJAX request which is just grabbing a little bit of data and that data is changing every time you get a request, you soon find the issue in most browsers where you're getting the same data over and over again, even though you're certainly sending completely different data. Because this is cached in itself by the ISP, by your local browser, technology, etc., etc., to a point where it becomes impossible to actually get the latest version easily. So we have to fudge it. The way we fudge it is nice and simple. We have a counter that increments every time we do a request to the server, or a random number generator sometimes people use. The difficulty with that is if you end up with the same random number twice, you might end up getting the wrong data. So the easiest way is to start a counter at 0. Every time you send a request, increment that counter by 1. So the next request gets sent through with a query string and counter equals whatever the counter equals. So it sees that because the query string has changed, it sees it's a brand new request and doesn't use the cached version. Does that make sense? So that's why I've had to tell you about query string, all the things that we talked about already before we move on to this. But this is the most powerful and the most useful way of dealing with sending information to a server, getting that information without having to post things back. So, what we're going to do is try to build our own XML, our own AJAX system. Now, the first thing we're going to do is some server-side code. My code that I need for doing the JavaScript. Like most things, once I find out how to make something work, I keep a copy and I just constantly reuse. All we're going to do is we're going to our main project web, we're going to add a new item, a new web form. And this web form is going to be AJAX data. Yep, it's still in the stuff we've been doing earlier. So I've called it ajaxdata.aspx. Okay. But as it happens, we're not going to use any of the actual form itself. We're going to send through some other information.
Wait, is the starting point again?
When you create ajaxdata.aspx, the first thing you're going to do is go to View Code. And we're going to do some code that you guys won't have seen before. Three simple lines of code. Response clear, response.write, then response end. Does anyone know what this is going to do?
Send something, that message to the server?
Not to the server. If I go on the web page, ajaxdata.aspx, instead of generating the HTML like this, that will have all been generated automatically into the response from the server. It's going to delete all of that and replace it with the string, hello, this is just some text, and then end that response, which means it then sends it to the browser. Which means that when we view the code for this page, it should literally just be that one string and no other HTML data.
How do you get the code?
Right-click, View Code. Once you've written those 3 lines, yes, you might want to quickly take a snapshot. If I run in Internet Explorer ajaxdata.aspx, that's Java Server. You'll see, fingers crossed, hello, this is just some text. And when I view the source, whoops, No, not explore the DOM. I want to actually view the source. The source, oh, it actually is literally, it won't let me view it as source because it's Internet Explorer. Okay, let's put this into a proper browser. And if we view the page source now, you will see literally the source code is just, hello, this is just some text. That is all that is sent through from the server. No HTML, no nothing. Everything has been flushed clear, and it's just sent through some text instead. Okay? Is everyone okay with that so far? That's the easy bit. Yay! Next bit is what we're going to do with JavaScript. Now, let me find the right page on here. Yes, this is the real work. Okay, on javaserver.aspx, where we have currently got two functions, hello world text box and hello world again, we are going to create a new function. Let's put HTML object message. Okay. I need to put in a var counter as well, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to highlight in blue all the AJAX code, and I'm going to explain what it actually does.
4 and then
While you're typing, let me start explaining what is happening. You may notice this. I'm going to start with something that looks a bit complicated. This AJAX.onReadyStateChange equals the function, open close bracket, and some curly brackets inside. What I'm doing is I'm actually creating a function within a function and attaching that function to onReadyStateChange. I could have rewritten this function somewhere else. What that means is that whenever the ready state changes of this open connection to the server, it can then run that piece of code. And what it's looking for is the ready state changed to 4, which means I've received data, and the HTML error status to be 200. 200 is the error code for OK, there's no problem, the page has come back. What other error codes could come back?
like this one here.
Any ideas?
If nothing comes back,
If nothing comes back, what other things could there be? If the page isn't found, there's a famous error message number. 404. So if the status equals 404, it means the page that you've asked for has not been found. Before I create my AJAX connection, I've told the computer, the function, which object, which div tag I'm going to put the results into. And the name of that you identify as output HTML object. So while I'm waiting for a message from the server, I'm going to put the message, please wait obtain the data in that object. When I receive the data, I put that data into that object. Okay? The actual thing I'm going to do, there's 2 types of ways of communicating with the server, get and post. Get means I'm just sending literally an address bar over to the server. So I'm going to use get to send it to ajaxdata.aspx, and they're going to send a message of data equals message, the same way as we've done already in the query string, and period counter equals whatever the current counter value is. I don't have to do counter.toString because this is JavaScript and not C# and it's stupid. True just means that there's a it's doing proper formatting. I then increment my counter and send that request. When the request comes back, it will run that line of code. Does that all make sense? Ish? I've got to have a counter above the function, so just double check that you put that in, because I didn't put that in right from the start.
What happens if we run it?
Sorry? Well, we haven't put any code to use this yet. That's the next bit we're going to add. So it won't run just yet. So it looks quite complicated, but really all it's doing is creating a new XML HTTP request, which is this AJAX system, adding a function to what happens when the state changes, opening a connection, and then sending it. So that's all it's really doing. So what we can do now is utilise this. How? Well, I'm just going to move the window up a little bit so you can still see it all. So it's everything from the top of the screen to the script, okay? And then what I'm going to do is just before my label, I'm going to start adding some commands. Div ID equals response from AJAX. And that, when you run that now, that line of code there should send
a message to AJAX data.aspx, which will just return what we've told it to return, and it will put it in the div that's next to it. It may well run so quickly that you won't see the words "please wait obtaining data." If everyone's finished that, you can try running it and test it, see if it works. It's just about quickly. So it's getting a 404 doesn't have the same data. All working? Fixed post server, does that work? Nice and easy, nice and quick. Yeah, good, yeah. Fixed post server, right there. Post server.
I don't think we would send initial counterparty at that point.
Yeah, it works.
No, I'm trying to zoom in.
Okay, next thing. Is it not working? Oh yes, sorry. Yeah, I added it.
No,
That's it, yeah, that's it. And at the top, empties and whether it be with us, generator on the screen. Can you all watch together? Watch together. Where you watch the YouTube video and you watch it in sync together. As it sync out completely.
Yeah, I was going to actually say that.
The issue is whenever everyone's joins, they do
Yeah.
whenever they start playing, or whenever you start from a location, it seems based off that.
Okay, well, that is AJAX being used to send that information to the server, and then it uses something actually using the web this done. What's it called? It's around the system where
Why don't you use it? Why do you use it?
watch together. It automatically synchronizes different photographs. So it just goes to post server. Yeah, it works. Okay, there is a disadvantage to this system. The disadvantage is it is using the address bar in the same way as the other one did, which means it is limited in how much data you can send. For example, Tom, you cannot send your image data using this method. This was the reason why you used the other method, simply because this method didn't work and I couldn't work out a way of getting it to work at the point where I was creating that drawing package originally. It did kind of work. It works for a nice small image, but as soon as it got too big, over a kilobyte in size, it wouldn't work. So what I found out I had to do is chop up the message into kilobyte things, send each one through separately, and that slowed things down so much, opening, closing, it was but there is a way of sending again up to 2 gigabytes of data in the same way as you do with the text file. As I say, there's this mode using something called a get. There are 2 ways we can send information to a server. Get is, this is my address, can you get me the information, please? The other one is post. Here is a form of information that I'm posting to you, can you give me a response, please? And we can do an AJAX post in the same way as we do an AJAX get. And that's what we're going to do next. Now, again, a post has key value pairs. It's just the amount of data you can store is much greater. So, how does a post request work? Well, what we're actually going to do, nice and easy, is take this entire function, copy it, and paste it underneath, and we're now going to call this AJAX send post.
See what you mean?
Have we not started yet? Alright, where's the form fields? I've got to find where I do the form fields. Where do I do the form fields? Sorry? Where have I got my form fields?
Basically, I have a friend who went from ironically liking his music to liking it.
Right, where is the...
So he just sits there and just out of nowhere just starts screaming the lyrics attached on at you.
I need to find my string of form fields, but I can't remember where to... Right, let's... Okay, so how are we going to do this then? We're going to start by changing the request from get to post. Okay. Now, the other thing to note on here is we don't need to worry about a counter. Why do we need to worry about a counter? Because the form of data is automatically assumed to be different every time it gets reposted. So there will be no caching issue with this one, with post. The next thing we're going to do is set a request header. We need to tell it it's a form of data, as in a form full of data. Oh, I set the message. Oh.
What have you changed?
Right, I've changed the bottom bit here so far. Okay. So you can see that the message itself is sent as part of the AJAX.send. We've had to add a request header, and it is case sensitive. And we've removed all the stuff off the get at the top. And the next thing we're going to do is actually start looking at how we can actually send data in this way, and in using the standard AJAX send, rather than just getting some information from the server. If anyone wants to try send post, just change it from on-click send post, and you should find it does exactly the same thing. If you change your on-click AJAX send to AJAX send post, let me just build it and just double check for you.
I have 98 warnings.
That's not good. Since we've not actually done any changes that should have even caused one warning. Unless it's warnings from another project that's built in. Well, I'll come and have a look in a second. Wait for it to load.
You're one warning the Android.
Oh, it's warning Android, that's fine.
Yeah, one of them is.
Oh.
97.
Yeah, it should only be one, to be fair. Right. Once you've got AJAX send post done, we're going to look at the different ways that we can send information using send and send post. So, click to post server as a get. Field 1 equals hello and field 2 equals world. Okay, so I'm just making, as you can see, I'm going to have two buttons, one that sends via on click, and actually I'm going to, let's make another change. Yeah, wait for me to finish because I'm just going to make another change where I get well, that doesn't help. How have you managed to make all the HTML gone?
It's all got green squiggly lines under it.
Tell you
no,
what,
I have
that's
105 warnings.
doing well, doing really well.
At least they're not errors. I just have because I that.
Right, let me just... Okay, what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to change AJAX send so that the message is actually coming from the text box. Okay, so I'm going to just change AJAX send first of all.
Two. We've got that AJAX send.
Okay, so I've made, if you look at the changes, I've moved the word message from the top of AJAX send, and I'm now setting message as the value of text box.
Speech marks at the top where it says text / JavaScript.
Once you've made that change, you just need to change where it says AJAX send to just contain the words that the name of the div tag that you're going to put the response into. As you can see, I've added another a click, which does the post as well. And the post this time is sending a series of key value pairs. Field 1 equals hello and field 2 equals world. If anyone wants to snapshot this, because I'm about to do the next section. 3, 2, 1. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write string x equals request form dot. Actually, no. So ID, did we call it? Hold on. Data. So, what should happen now is if it's a post response, there should be a form. And in that form, we should find the keys and value pairs that we've put in. If it's a get response, we should get this. We shouldn't get both at the same time. If anyone wants to quickly snapshot this, because I'm just going to, well, actually what I'll do is I'll stop my screen recorder so that I can just quickly double check this is actually working and I've not made any mistakes anywhere, which I probably have, because this is mostly off the top of my head. And actually it does work straight away. Wow. It's not like my code. Something's obviously seriously wrong when my code works straight away. So that proves, A, that we've able to do both a post and a get as two different items, sending the same thing from the same server, but also that different data can be sent in two different ways, and that our entire AJAX system actually works. And you can use this as the basis of any AJAX system that you want to create. If you need to send a lot of data, send it as a post. If you want to send just a little bit of data, send it as a get. I'll stop the recording of the video at this point because there's no need to